Hey y'all, welcome back to Tuesday Tips here on our channel on YouTube. I'm Michael Barber, and as always, welcome back for a conversation on all things challenges for school leaders, or should I say challenges facing school leaders. Today, I'm really happy to welcome back one of my colleagues, Tony Solorzano. Tony, how are you doing, man?
I am doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, we're happy to have you on. Tony asked Tony to come in today to chat with us about what he's hearing from school leaders related to enrollment marketing. Guess what? It's October. I don't know if anybody got the memo over the weekend, but somehow September slipped into October, borrowing a phrase from the good old T Swift there. But we have foregone September, which means, hey, enrollment marketing season is right around the corner as you think about heading into January and getting things prepped to begin attracting families in your community and students to your school. It is time to start talking about enrollment marketing again. So I asked Tony to come back on and chat with us about what he's hearing from various school leaders. So, Tony, I'm going to kick it off with one first question to start off is what are the enrollment tactics that charter school leaders can be focused on as they're starting the school year, but as they start to think about the next few months and getting to January?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that I see most effective during this time period is really trying to leverage your back to school night. It's natural to think of back to school night as just something for existing families, but make sure that's out in the local newspaper and have it available for prospective families to swing by and see what's going on and get the vibe of this school. I've seen that be very effective in the past.
Yeah, such a good tip to make sure that you've got your open houses really tuned in. Make sure they're planned out and they're rehearsed, and to the best extent possible that they're scripted so that anybody
Yeah.
that has never experienced your school just understands what the mission is, what the vision is, what the kids are focused on, what it's like for kids to come to that school. But such a good tip to get your open houses buttoned up and planned out before the calendar gets too full as well.
For
I
sure.
want to
And
ask. Yeah, go ahead.
oh, I was going to say, and just remember, turning an open house or a back to school night into a quote unquote enrollment event is not that difficult. I mean, all you really got to do is have somebody up at the front entrance to the school or the main entrance to the school with a little sign and an iPad, and boom, all of a sudden you're doing an enrollment event. So sometimes don't overthink it. Get started with with something simple.
Yeah, such a good tip there. Make sure that those open houses or really any event have the ability for someone to enroll in the school or at least start that journey with your school.
Yes.
I want to ask about community partnerships. This is something that a lot of our enrollment marketing team has helped schools, create ideas around, think about events and partnerships that can help drive enrollment. But what are some enrollment partnerships that you've seen that have been successful between charter schools and local entities or local nonprofits or organizations that seems to work well? What are you hearing out there?
Sure. A couple that come to mind, boys and girls clubs and YMCAs. Those are always top tier organizations to partner with. Not only are they always active in the community, but they're active nationwide. So if you're able to build that connection with those organizations, you're tapping into a much larger network than what you might currently have. So I've seen that be tremendously effective.
Yeah, such good ideas there. And then also, what I've seen is, look out for what's happening specifically in your community. There's going to be very
Yep.
specific community events, community-based organizations that, attract kids. I can think of one great one in LA, 826 LA, which was an organization that I volunteered for many, many years ago, but a great organization for the LA community and across the US in communities across the country, you're going to have things beyond just those national orgs, right? So look for those organizations
Yeah.
that are maybe really community focused. So it's such a great idea there. One of the things we do at Charter School Capital, and the reason why I asked you on your expertise related to how we build out partnerships for our charter school leaders, is around enrollment marketing. And we're a third party. We're an external organization that works with charter schools on making sure their schools are filled with kids. Any sort of key thoughts or tips for school leaders that may be turning to an outside partner like ourselves or a freelancer or a small agency in their community on, what are the key elements that they should be looking for when it comes to a partnership like that?
Yeah, the biggest one and one that I try to impose from the very beginning when we're working with somebody is you've got to be with a partner that you trust, right? It's you're going to be getting into and we refer to it as a partnership because you're spending a lot of time with that individual in that organization. They're going to be speaking as if they were the school, so you want to make sure that you have somebody that you have that full trust with, and you're willing to be completely open with. A partnership will only be as good as the communication line that runs between the agency or the organization and the school. The more that that's open, the more that ideas are flowing freely, and the more that we're or any organization is hearing about the happenings of that's going on at the school, the more successful that partnership will be. So be open, find a trusting partner, and jump in to both feet first.
Yeah, for sure. And as it relates to, what a partnership with an agency or an organization like ours or a freelancer or whatever, a school leader decides how they want to move forward their enrollment initiatives. What are some of the, sort of best or, highest converting marketing materials or promotional materials that you think are working well for schools right now that really attract prospective families?
For me, it's always when you can show a family a day in the life, right? A family wants to be able to picture their child in the environment that you're promoting. So, doing things that are warm and welcoming and are an accurate portrayal of where the school is and where the school wants to go. Those tend to be the highest converting, at least from my perspective. Again, you kind of go back to trust. Not only do you need an agency that you trust, you've got to build that trust with the family. So being open, being genuine, families can read that. Families can tell when you mean what you say and when you believe it.
And is it videos that really bring that story to life, or is it written testimonials? What's the best ways that schools can be telling that story in the right way?
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. Video is super huge right now. Gosh, I think YouTube is I mean, don't quote me on this, but one of the highest used social media sites right now. And that's kind of across all age ranges. Everybody loves YouTube. Uh, Find something fun to promote. You don't have to be a Hollywood video editor to put together, 60 seconds of a fun video showcasing something that was going on. Going all the way back to the first question, how do you leverage the beginning of school? A 60-second song and video montage from the first day of school. Those things are killer. You can then put it on YouTube. You can do Instagram with something of that length. And families love to share it. And then guess what? Once your families are sharing it, you're getting free advertising. That's now spreading its way through the community. So use video, use it often. It can be very fun.
Yeah, that word of mouth effect for video can be vast and impactful, and certainly, regardless of whatever you pay for, whether it's a partnership or paying for, media or advertising, right? That word of mouth is going to return on investment. It's going to be the highest
Yep.
return on investment because, once you've built those particular videos or you've set up, review sites and you're monitoring those reviews that help drive word of mouth, that's essentially free advertising for the school,
Totally.
as long as you've got those profiles up and available for prospective families to take a look at. So such good
Yeah.
advice there. Well, we're right at that 10-minute mark. I'm going to offer you one more minute if you've got it. Any other bonus tips or last minute thoughts for school leaders to be thinking about? It's October. Now's the time to start thinking about January, which I know we just got done with back to school, but this is unfortunately the blessing and a curse of being a leader in an organization, and school leaders are no different, is you have to be thinking about the future. So any tips for school leaders to be thinking about in the future or where we're at right now at the beginning of October when it comes to enrollment efforts?
Yeah, don't put it off. The most successful partnerships that we have with schools are ones that we start as early in the season as possible. The longer that you have to promote your school, the longer you have to build that trust and that promote and that partnership with an organization, if you're doing it internally or externally, the better. The more successful you'll be, the more things you can try, the more you can adjust your strategy. So don't put it off. Enrollment marketing is a year-round a year-round task, as I'm sure our school leaders know. So yeah, let's get moving.
Great advice, and thanks for keeping that under 60 seconds. You came in right at the deadline. With that said, we're going to wrap it up and say thanks to our own Tony Solorzano for joining us for a few minutes for Tuesday's tips. Just want to let everyone know we do have a webinar coming up on Thursday with Caroline Poland. We'll be talking about student mental health. That's a follow-up webinar from our teacher and school leader mental health webinar just a few weeks ago. We had about 300 or 400 school leaders on that webinar, so we'd love to see you there. And we will have Caroline back with us next Tuesday right here on our YouTube channel at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, talking about follow-up questions to our student mental health webinar, which again is Thursday, 10 a.m., about 90 minutes. You can hop onto our website. It's under upcoming events and resources right on the homepage, and you can register there. But we look forward to seeing you there, and we look forward to seeing you next week with Caroline. And with that, I'll say one last thank you to Tony again, and see you all next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.